Jamie Siminoff pitched Ring on Shark Tank. Every single shark passed. He couldn't get investor capital. He funded his own growth through sales. He built a direct to consumer hardware company in a category that did not exist, with no venture backing, no deal, and no retail presence. And he sold it to Amazon for just over $1 billion. The sharks were wrong. But the more interesting question is, why was the business valuable enough that Amazon paid $1 billion for a doorbell? Hello, my name is Todd Hagopian, the original Stagnation Assassin and the author of The Unfair Advantage, Weaponizing the Hypomanic Toolbox. But today, we're pulling the leadership file on Jamie Siminoff, founder of the Ring doorbell, and specifically the product and business architecture decisions that made a video doorbell into a $1 billion acquisition target. This is not a tribute, this is a forensic audit. Let's see what he actually built. The stagnation score of the home security market pre-Ring was 6 out of 10 on the corporate cancer scale. The disease was contract dependency. The ADT model required a professional installation, a long-term monitoring contract, and an ongoing monthly fee that homeowners ended up resenting. The market had been structurally static for decades because the incumbents had built their entire business model around recurring contract revenue rather than around what customers actually wanted: peace of mind on demand. Ring saw the gap. So let's do the forensic audit. What did Siminoff get right? The category creation decision. Let's talk about this. Siminoff invented the video doorbell category before smart home devices were mainstream. He identified a specific anxiety: who's at my door when I'm not home? And built the simplest possible solution: a video camera. That's Orthodoxy-Smashing Innovation in its purest consumer form. Don't build a better home security system. Make home security a single, beautiful, accessible device. The subscription architecture, Ring's hardware, was the customer acquisition mechanism. The real business, the cloud video storage subscription, was the recurring revenue generation. Ring Protect plans converted hardware buyers into subscription customers. This is the razor and blade model applied to home security. The hardware is the razor, the subscription is the blades. The Amazon acquisition price of $1 billion was not for the doorbells, it was for the subscription base and the neighborhood network that Ring had built. The Neighbors app. Siminoff built a community crime watch application alongside the hardware product, essentially creating a local crime intelligence network that made Ring devices more valuable the more neighbors that own them. Network effects in a hardware business are extraordinarily rare. Siminoff built one almost accidentally through a community app. That network effect is what justified the Amazon acquisition premium. But let's look at the murder board. What did Siminoff get wrong? The law enforcement data sharing architecture. Ring built post acquisition partnerships with hundreds of police departments, enabling video footage requests. This created a significant privacy controversy that he had not anticipated and that Amazon eventually had to walk back pretty significantly. The community trust that made the Neighbors app valuable was built on a specific assumption of privacy. The police partnership architecture undermined that assumption and damaged the brand asset that was central to the acquisition value thesis. Building a community trust architecture and then monetizing the community's data to law enforcement without explicit consent from the community was a complete failure. The evaluation of what the customer relationship actually is was sacrificed for a partnership opportunity that ultimately cost more in brand damage than it produced in brand value. So, the stagnation verdict here, though, still 4 kills. Siminoff built a category, built a subscription business inside of it, built a community network on top of that, and converted Shark Tank rejection into a billion-dollar outcome. The category created instinct, the subscription architecture, and the network effect design are genuinely brilliant. The post-acquisition data architecture cost him a kill by revealing a blind spot about what the community relationship he built actually was and what obligations that carried. Study Siminoff for bootstrapped category creation. Study the Ring data controversy for the ethics of community monetization. That's your forensic audit on Jamie Siminoff and the Ring. Grab The Unfair Advantage on Amazon. Visit toddhagopian.com and stagnationassassins.com. I'm Todd Hagopian, and remember, every shark who passed on the Ring passed on $1 billion. So make sure you know what your asset is worth before someone else tells you.